Welcome back to Hear Me Out. I'm Dee.
I'm E.
And today's episode is our recap, finally, of the Kardashians. We were finding it difficult to get here, guys, but we're here. Um, prefacing all of it with saying that, this episode, well, actually, this whole season so far is just like blood. So we're trying because we told you guys we were going to try when we did our what was it, preview video. If you watched it, you know our feelings. Anyway, what was the first episode of season 5 all about?
First of all, it was boring. I'm gonna say that. But I guess the episode has no title, so just think of season 5, episode 1 of the Kardashians. That's what it is. All right. The Kardashians are back for season 5, and the premiere episode released on May 23rd was a must watch. The article said it, not me. The episode highlights were Kourtney's pregnancy journey and the sisters' Paris trip. The season was shot while Kourtney was still pregnant and had undergone fetal surgery. The premiere episode started with Kourtney talking to fans about what caused it and how she felt. It also saw Kim, Kris, Kendall, and Kylie's Paris trip to attend the Fashion Week. The Kardashians season 5 episode 1 gave a glimpse into Kourtney's Disney-themed baby shower, which was installed even though Kourtney and Travis were diagnosed with pandemic thingy, COVID. All right. So what happened? I guess we're going to break it down, give you our thoughts instead of reading it all throughout.
Yeah.
All right. So in the episode, the very beginning, Kourtney said her scan doctor saw some abnormalities during the scan, which caused him to ask her to get surgery. She also shared that because there was a hole in her uterus due to the surgery, she was on complete bed rest. The doctor prevented a big disaster by asking her to correct it before it happened, which she thought was a result of her prayers. The cameras then followed Kim, who was busy taking up photo shoots and flying to places for work, despite the commitment last year to slow down with work and to live more. Kris visited Scott and commented on him on his weight loss, which was something that we've seen struggling in the last season, a cause of his back problems. Um, hmm, this article doesn't break it down the way that I like. But let's stop there.
Okay.
What do we think about Kourtney's? I'm trying to remember the episode. Kourtney talking to fans about her fetal surgery, if she has fans, everything that she went through, which seemed kind of traumatic. And we'll go from there.
So I feel like Kourtney, so far in the 2 episodes I've seen, can kind of provide keeping up with the Kardashian nostalgia vibes because her storylines or whatever are more grounded in things that are happening with her family, what's going on versus, oh, I'm jetting off for Paris Fashion Week, or let me use my private jet to get to this job or this other job. So anyway, I think that Kourtney, starting off with Kourtney, that was good. And especially because the whole situation she went through, yeah, that was pretty traumatic. And I know that like she does have fans. I know fans were concerned when everything went down. Obviously, we know now. Thankfully, everything's good with baby Rocky. And but it is, it's interesting, right? Because it's not something that you know about often happening. Fetal surgery, basically doing surgery on the baby while they're still technically unborn. Um, and that can be just insane. And then plus the fact that like she was very restricted as far as what she could do because of the hole in her uterus. So I can't even like imagine how, crazy all of that was to go through, and just live through in general, because you're there essentially like avoiding doing absolutely anything to make sure your pregnancy, goes off well. And then you come across this issue that requires a surgery on your baby, like that's insane. But so just I'm glad everything was good, but I also feel like this was something that makes Kourtney relatable in some ways and made that part of the show feel like almost like the old show, a little bit more grounded. What did you think?
I mean, now I gotta agree with that because I was really gonna go in on her. And and I was gonna be inappropriate and crack some jokes. I'm like, what are the odds that the Kardashians have these kind of storylines? But obviously, it was a bad joke. I know. I'm glad she's okay. I'm glad baby Rocky's okay. I'm glad that she spoke about it because probably, a lot of women do deal with
Yeah.
something like that. And it's not really spoken. And sometimes even talking about any of these issues are taboo.
Mhm.
So it is very reminiscent of the old show. But I just feel like, and I don't know if this is me being a hater, after everything that I've seen with Kourtney, and I'm going to get to Kim later on, it's just I thought she was tired of the show. I'm surprised to even see her here.
That's true. That's very true.
And this procedure, this pregnancy is high risk. Obviously, we know her age, we know what happened.
Hmm.
So that would even like give me more of an incentive to not even film. Like
Right.
she legit has an excuse, but she's still filming. So this kind of goes against everything she's said in the past, which is so everything's okay now. Now she wants to film. It's weird. I know. I'm not making this about the pregnancy. I'm making this about
Yeah.
Kourtney.
Yeah.
Um, but I just found it a little weird. I don't know. I just don't vibe with her anymore.
I get that. That makes sense, especially given how traumatic it is. Of course, you'd want to kind of be more, I would think private, just in
Mm-hmm.
general. But we are always asking for them to like
Give.
provide information on their lives. Yeah. So in this way, I think, it what you're saying has tons of merit, but in a way it's like, okay, she is still there. So at least she's giving us something, which is more than what we can say for the Jenner sisters in past seasons.
They've been showing up. I've been surprised.
We've seen them in 2 episodes so far. Let's not get too excited. But
I
what was the next thing? Kim jetting off, right?
Yeah, and then basically, Chloe was in the confessional say, "Did Kim slow down? Absolutely not." And then we see Kim jet setting and recording and doing her Kim Kardashian crap. What do we think?
Uninterested. Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. I'm like Kim, and I don't even know if I'm getting my ahead of myself, but I was watching these two podcasters on Instagram. A little clip,
Yeah.
and they said something that I thought was really interesting. It's like Kim just she kind of has the J Lo effect. This is me inserting my thoughts as well
Okay.
because she is doing everything she can to keep this fame. At some point she got to let it go, but she is refusing. So she keeps adding and adding and adding. And at this point, I don't think she has anything to prove, really.
Right.
Um, the the podcasters were saying she could be a lot more judicious in the things that she chooses to participate in. She has all the wealth, she has all the fame, but yet she continues to perpetuate this you know lifestyle of like work hard and this is what I love to do. And it's
Mhm.
not even about that. It's about the fame and the how hungry she is for it. She just can't let it go.
You know, it's interesting you bring up the comparison like with J-Lo because okay, so my feelings with both of them is that, and we've talked about it in other videos, but it's that they're very like unaware. Like they're not self-aware, right? They don't have that self-awareness to be like, maybe I shouldn't do this, or this might not be a good idea. For
Mm-hmm.
example, Kim is one of the actresses featured in Variety's Actor on Actor interviews, and people were so upset. She's interviewing Chloe Sevigny, I believe that's how you say her last name. She's an accomplished actress, iconic for years and years and years. She is an actual actress. Kim Kardashian is not.
Mm-hmm.
She's not an actress. She did a guest spot or whatever in the American Horror Story thing, but she's not an actress or a full time actress to give her that sort of accolade or to give her that sort of avenue. Like, it's disrespectful to real actors, especially struggling actors or up and coming actors and people who need that sort of a spotlight. And that goes into the lack of self-awareness,
Yeah.
because if she were self-aware, she probably would have said, I should be considered for this. Thank you for the honor. I appreciate it. Give it to somebody else. But people like that, J Lo can't do that because, like you said, the fame, the fame, the fame, and
They
so
just
this.
have to monopolize
Mhm.
all the attention everywhere they can get it, good or bad, at this point.
Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. So to me, it was just like when you mentioned that, it just kind of triggered the thought, like they're just so like unaware, or just lack self-awareness to be like, you know what, this probably isn't the best idea. And considering J-Lo's been in the game for several decades now, Kim has been famous for more than 15 minutes at this point. So you guys should be pros at understanding what works for you. Like you said, the podcaster said she needs to be more judicious. I completely agree, because at this point, yeah, like you said, she doesn't have anything to prove to anybody. And all she's doing is creating that effect where people are going to be fully done with her. And there's already been, chatter on the internet that this is the downfall of the Kardashians. People are just not happy with what they're producing, obviously, and also with the oversaturation of them trying to be involved in absolutely everything. I think this situation with Variety, they've been like kind of slow rolling the two different actors. They haven't they haven't done hers yet. When hers comes out, there's a thumbs up. When hers comes out, the internet is gonna like they're going to essentially clown her, drag her, because Chloe Sevigny, she's been in like so many like movies with acclaim. She's a dramatic actress. Like it's just shocking to me that they would literally choose.
What was she in? I'm trying to
Okay,
remember.
so she's been oh my god, I literally am spacing right now and I can't think of like her movies, but I know that like she's been in a lot of things. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up right now because I
Yeah.
don't want to like make it sound like worse than what it is. Okay, so she was in the kids. I think it was a movie back in the '90s. She was in American Psycho. She was in Big Love. I don't know if you ever watched that. It was the polygamy show. Like she was one of the sister wives. Oh my god, she was amazing. She was in Zodiac. Like she's been in a lot of things. I'll show you her picture just so that.
Blank. Uh, I think so.
Girl, there's no way you know her.
Ah, okay, okay, okay.
Okay. So
Hispanic. Ah, okay, okay.
she's an acclaimed actress. It's wild to like know that she's having to interview Kim Kardashian on Actors on Actors, Variety's annual thing. It's like, come on now. This
Like
is
everybody's just trying to make a quick buck at this point, and they're selling their souls because it just doesn't make any sense.
it doesn't. It
Um,
doesn't.
something that influencers have said, I don't follow very many anymore because I'm even tired of the influencer culture.
Mhm.
Because they're always trying to sell you some shit. And that's, I'm like, I don't even believe you at this point. But, but one of them said the most important thing to be an influencer is for your audience to like believe you, like
Yeah.
believe in the products that you're telling them about, believe your lifestyle, believe your story, believe your recommendation or follow your recommendations and things like that. So I say that to say, magazine covers like Variety,
Full
the
variety.
Forbes, the Time magazine or whatever. Some of them, I guess it has merit, but some of them don't. So for
Mhm.
Variety, come on, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Forbes did that thing back in the day with Kylie, saying that she was a billionaire, and then they retracted
Backfired.
tremendously.
Yeah.
So not only are they not researching, but I think they're just trying to monopolize on the Kardashian brand and bring attention to it.
Mhm.
And they're not really thinking about their brand or,
Mhm.
how unappealing it is to people to continue to read these things if they're publishing about the Kardashians, and it's without merit.
Right. Right.
So that is crazy.
Yeah. And then the next thing was about Scott, right?
And the next thing was, yeah. So a little bit about Scott. Chris visited Scott and commented about his weight loss, which he was seen struggling last season because of his back problems. They go on to talk about Caitlyn's role in a documentary that didn't paint the family in a good light. Kim said that it didn't bother her because she was grateful that Caitlyn, had raised her. Scott also took a dig at her, saying that she was an unsolved mystery.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad that Scott is, feeling better because I know that obviously a lot of what he was going through did impact his overall health and well-being. So I'm glad he's doing better. I know the internet clocked the Ozempic in the fridge.
I'm like, how long? First of all, I don't understand how the fridge didn't beep, because mine beeps after like 3 seconds. I'm like, shut up. So they had that thing open. I'm like, was their AC not working? Like, I need answers to these questions that I have. Crazy.
And interestingly enough, because you called it last when we did the preview, there was Scott moving plot lines along, talking about the whole Caitlyn drama and that documentary and everything, which I don't even know. Honestly, like with Caitlyn, I feel like she has created just this chasm between herself and the family that like could have been easily resolved had she not maligned them in different ways. Because at the end of the day, like, okay, of course, speak your truth and whatnot, but like, you did raise these people. Like, they are your kids. And granted, he hasn't, well, previously, Bruce had a terrible relationship with the older kids from the first marriage and all that. There was all these issues then, but Caitlyn, sorry, like did raise these Jenner kids. And so I can understand what Kim is saying, but it is still like I can also understand that Chloe is still feeling a type of way because it's like, come on, you were family, and at the end of the day, like the fame that you have, it is because of the, Kardashians. So it's like, I don't know. I always feel weird when it comes to that stuff and
This
everything.
is sounding very Prince Harry, but we're not gonna talk about the royal family here.
because the Kardashians were not bullying
Oh my god.
Caitlyn.
We don't know what happened between closed doors.
What do you mean? Caitlyn put out a memoir. Like, we know what happened. Everything that Caitlyn claims happened. Anyway, point is, Scott did exactly what he said he was gonna do. And yeah, I was just kind of like over it. Like, okay, this is what we're here for. That's it.
I think it's crazy to see Scott like so mellow and in this role of plot mover. What was the term you used?
Yeah, like a plot mover. Basically, he moved the plot along.
And that was not him in Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
No.
And it's kind of sad to see. I see him as, and mind you, this is very complex thoughts, okay? I see old Scott, but I understand that the old Scott might have had a drinking problem. He might have not been the best person, but he was great for TV and for comedy relief. Now it's like, it's almost sad to see. Like now I'm in the middle of episode 3. That's how it's dreadful, guys, to watch the Kardashians at this point. But we're still going to watch it. And he's basically doing the same thing. And it's like, he's almost out of place. He's in there, but not really. Like, he doesn't belong, but he's trying. And it's just a weird dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, in general, it is odd because it's like they know we know the reason Scott is there is because the fans were upset that Scott wasn't there for season 2 and 3, right? So we know that this is like more fan service versus them actually having him as part of like their lives in general. Because
Yeah.
one of the things we always loved about Scott back in the day during Keeping Up was he would call them out on their crap all the time. And it was like hilarious, right? Because it's usually what the audience would think. We're not over here thinking, who was thinking about Caitlyn? Like,
Could
nobody.
not be.
I don't even remember about that whole documentary thing.
Yeah.
So it just kind of feels like weird. I don't know if it was in that first episode where Chris asked him how Mason was doing. And it's kind of strange, like, because something that they haven't talked about, and I understand in a way that like it's the kids, so maybe that's why. But there's been speculation that Mason has primarily lived with Scott since Kourtney got with Travis. So there's obviously we have no confirmation about that. But generally, when we see Kourtney, we don't ever really see Mason anywhere like with them. And I know that Mason hasn't wanted to be like recorded. I know that was something that they talked about before. Um, but it's just odd. And even on like those vacations that she does, Mason, like they never really say like Mason's
Mhm.
with them. So I don't know. Like I wonder what that dynamic is, or if there was any kind of an issue that
Yeah.
Mason may have. Because at this point, the kids are getting older, and you know, Kim is already basically putting North out there to like be the next Kardashian Jenner face. So, and then now we know that Mason is on Instagram, so it'll be interesting to see how these things go and if it'll ever be addressed. Because why would Chris only ask about Mason and not Penelope and Rain? You know?
Hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But now that we talk, well, you mentioned North. This is a little sidetrack. So North was in The Lion King,
Hmm.
and an article from She Knows says people are slamming Northwest Lion King's performance, but it's never okay to trash talk a kid.
Right.
So the article just goes on to say how she was kind of like ill prepared, and like how people were, or kids, whatever, were more qualified than she was. Then I saw some speculation on Instagram where it said, that's my main source of stuff, guys, besides articles. There was like some speculation that Kim actually paid for North to be on this.
Yeah.
Unverified, of course. I haven't read anything on it. Um, but I thought about it because you said that Kim has no self awareness. So,
Hmm.
so does that extend to her kids? And I'm not trash talking her kid. The little clips that I've seen on Instagram, I just keep thinking of Blue Ivy and her ways that she got better.
Yeah.
Northwest didn't seem too prepared. That's all I'll say.
Right.
I think that there were more talented people.
Yeah.
Um, but did Northwest even want to do it? Like, it didn't even seem like it to me. It's just, I think they're just, her and Kanye, her being Kim, and Kanye, I think they're just trying to push North to be this eccentric, over the top,
Hmm.
avant garde, the next it person when it comes
Hmm.
to rapping, singing, I guess acting now. And I don't find it to be very genuine. Granted, she's only 11, she can get way better,
Right.
but they're already positioning her in this certain light, and I don't know if it's coming across well.
Well, I guess we'll find out in season 6 because I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a part of the show. Let
Season 6.
let's be realistic here. As like you said, Kim wants to hold on to this fame, right? Well, her daughter is the next iteration of that because essentially there's not going to be much appeal to Kim Kardashian within a few years. And it's I'm not trying to be ageist or anything like that, but it's like there people, specifically younger people, that drive the success of these sorts of like shows and entertainers and celebrities and all that stuff. They're getting older, just as we've gotten older. And like for me, we follow along because it's what we've been doing for so long. Even if we're just like, why are we watching this? We're still watching it. But like the younger generations, they're not caring for a lot of these things. We've
Mhm.
talked about how they've been doing like basically blocking celebs online. And we also know that she lost several Instagram followers after Taylor Swift put out that Thank You Amy song. So I feel like there is going to come a time where maybe Kim won't have the same sort of reckoning that J-Lo did, but I think she will start to notice a little bit more the lack of engagement and the lack of like attention that'll be paid to her the
Yeah.
more and more we get younger celebs in the spotlight. And I think, okay, so this is gonna be a super changing, guys. I'm sorry. I know we're doing a recap, but so recently there was, and I can't remember what publication did it. The Rising Stars of Hollywood, the Young Rising Stars of Hollywood, and they named several, pretty amazing up and coming actors, young actors, and it gave me the feeling that we're going to get a basically like a Hollywood renaissance or yeah, like a rebirth. Yeah, because we've talked about, and I think you've mentioned that it's lost its allure. We don't have those, George Clooney esque like celebs, or not celebs,
Well,
but
Clint Eastwood's back then, the
yeah,
Marlon Brandos, the old Hollywood glam.
Elizabeth Taylor, Marilyn Monroe. There's a lot that like we've lost, and even in the '90s, you think about Julia Roberts, you think about like Cameron
Meryl
Diaz.
Streep and
Oh
I
my
don't know,
gosh, yeah.
Bullock and all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we have definitely had a decline in all of that. So when I saw that article discussing some of the up and coming like actors, young actors like Zendaya, Austin Butler, Florence Pugh, who they've all been in Dune.
Yeah.
These are young actors that I think are definitely carving out a role for themselves where they are going to be like the main Hollywood it people as far as
With
actors.
Timothy in it.
I think Timothée was in it. I believe so.
Was it?
But so to me, all of that will help to usher in a different sort of following when it comes
Mhm.
to, because if you notice these celebs that I just mentioned, they're not heavily on Instagram, they're not heavily on social media. They're maybe even a little bit more private. We all know Zendaya's with Tom Holland, but it's not like she talks about her relationship, right? It's not a constant thing. Austin Butler has been dating Kaya Gerber for some time. We also don't really know too much about that. So anyway, my point is these are more private actors, and I think that's kind of the landscape we're going into. Whereas like we have a lot of celebs that are being blocked, like we learned, it's coming from a place where young people are feeling like they're not using their platform for good, right? They're not voicing support for certain things, and so essentially because the Kardashians are not known to do any kind of real activism, they will become like just nothing, not nothing, but like they're gonna become like as unimportant or as uninteresting as what Kim called Kourtney all those years ago. Like
Mhm.
it's bound to happen. So what does that mean? Kim is going to have to utilize her next best asset. That is her daughter. And as the older kids get older, it's going to be the other kids. Because we know she's going to utilize Shy. Let's not pretend she's not. Shy is definitely going to be somebody. Like, it's going to happen. So, yeah, that's my thought process with all of that. What else happened in the episode?
Man, I guess we missed them after all. All right, so in a surprising plot twist, Chloe showed up at Tristan's door to meet him before he flew to Cleveland to be with his team. Tristan spoke to her about how he was going to miss his brother Amari, who is wheelchair bound, but Chloe assured him that Amari was going to be okay in LA because he had all his doctor's friends and family here. Um, well, the article didn't elaborate on that, but what I remember was uh, Tristan wanting to be the Batman and the Robin, the peanut butter and the jelly. I don't know. I'm gonna make it Hispanic now. The rice and the beans. The
I don't know.
he is. steadfast. He is hardcore trying to get this woman back. What do we think? And he even did this in a creepy kind of way, by the way.
Tris trash is still Tris trash. That's not gonna change. I didn't care for that scene. I just I can't. What I did pay attention to was the fact that Amari is staying in LA, and here's Chloe once again taking care of somebody else in Tristan's life because she just has to be Captain Save-A-Ho and just always there, needing to like do everything for everyone. Like, I mean, I understand Amari has his doctors and everything there, but she's like, and his family. His family's Tristan. So Tristan's the legal guardian. So Tristan is what? Abandoning his responsibilities, typical, and is going off to like play with Cleveland for what? Like, why are you even still playing? That's weird. I was surprised he was still playing. I thought he still had that cushy ESPN job that Chris Jenner made a phone call for. Anyway, point is, there's Chloe still taking care of Tristan's kids all by herself. Well, nannies, but you know what I mean. And then additionally, Amari, poor kid.
I that's my bestie. Like, how can I disagree with that? I'm trying to think about the episode. Chloe, I think, did come off as a little, I don't even know the word. She said that she didn't have overnight nannies to help out. She did mention that being a single mom is so hard and XYZ. What do we think about that?
That also felt a little out of touch.
That did. For
Like,
Chloe.
right.
Yeah.
Self-awareness as well. She's like, I have to get up every morning and do all of these things. And it's just kind of like, yeah, so does every other mom in the
That's
world.
not rich.
That's
Like
not
you.
rich. They wake up, they do this, and then they go to their own 9 to 5 jobs, then come home, pick them up, come home and cook all over again, and then help them with homework, and then clean, and then put them to bed. Like, maybe it went over my head. I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm not understanding there.
I mean, I think she was trying to convey that it's hard when he's traveling, or I don't know if she was trying to get some sympathy cards from us, but I was a little disappointed hearing Chloe say that. I'm like, girl, you cannot even compare. Yes, you have your own sets of problems because rich people have problems too.
Right.
It's different set from the poor people problems.
Right.
But you can't be like, oh my God, I'm so tired. And I'm like, you can easily hire somebody like this. Nobody gives a damn. If I could, and I don't have kids, but if I could have an assistant to just run around and do things for my life, I would greatly appreciate that. I don't want to pick up my dry cleaning. I don't want to do these XYZ errands.
Yeah.
I don't even want Aldi picking out my groceries because they pick it out wrong. I would want my assistant to do it in a certain kind of way. So all the things that I do, mind, and we have 9 to 5s, and we record after work, and we have other things that we do. Chloe, come on, you stay at home. Actually, work comes to you.
Mm-hmm.
O sea, dale. So going back to the whole Tristan situation, I didn't even understand why she was there. I'm like, oh, she's picking up True. I never saw True.
Mm-mm.
We only saw True's bedroom. Where's Tatum's? I have all these questions. Like, why was she there? Why is he still part of the storyline?
Maybe because Chloe doesn't have a storyline.
But that puts her in the Jenner territory.
But what is Chloe doing?
Oof.
The same energy we give Kourtney.
Yeah.
We have to. And we've always said that Chloe has carried the seasons, but that's usually because she had so much drama going on with Trish Trash. So what else does she need to do but go back to Trish Trash in order to like generate something? And then we know that like in the upcoming season or upcoming within the season is the whole drama that she's supposed to have with Kim, which we know is a non-drama. And it's like, and she didn't even go to Paris because she.
Well, well, she has good American. What happened to the stores opening? I know we just bashed Kim about working her ass off, but Chloe, we never see her work. So, or her business aspect
Yeah.
of stuff. So,
Yeah.
what happened to all of that? There could be, I don't know, her trying on jeans. Like, how does she get to the whole mechanics of these good fit jeans that are really enticing me? But I'm not gonna buy them.
I have a pair. I still haven't worn them though.
I can't believe you.
Sale half off.
You're supporting the Kardashians.
Yeah, well, I also have two of her bodysuits, but that's neither here nor there. They were on sale.
All
Listen,
right. All right, guys. To end, the Kardashian cameras then gave a peek into Kendall's life in Paris as she attended Paris Fashion Week. She shared that she was walking in the Victoria Beckham show, and the L'Oreal fashion show. Kylie was there too as they met up with Kendall for dinner. She talked about how she was asked to walk outside of the venue at the Dolce & Gabbana fashion show, which made her the last guest to enter. This gave the impression that she was late, which was untrue. And we're talking about Kylie here. What do we think about that little snippet? And and Kendall said that she did not want to talk about her anxiety. She is more fun than that.
uninterested.
Give me more.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
For many years, there have been people within the modeling community, I guess you could say, within the fashion world, that have felt away because Kendall doesn't really do fashion shows. She doesn't really walk the catwalk during like fashion weeks the way that a lot of other models do. She'll
Mm-hmm.
do one show, maybe two shows, and that's it. And she's still the highest paid model, which is wild in the world. So when I see that, it feels like they're trying to make it seem like, oh, Kendall's like the super busy model when she's not. And it feels very disingenuous. And then like her and Kylie having this dinner just also felt like another, let's make this into a plot point because people are complaining that the Jenner sisters don't do anything. So let's have them give us some drama to clear up the way that like, they usually do when Scott like makes the whole like let me clarify situation. Like that's what it felt like. Because
Yeah.
like Kylie talking about the whole Dolce thing, girl, nobody cares. Like that was something that was talked about maybe for like a day or less. Like you don't make the headlines you used to. Like I'm sorry. So it just felt very like forced.
Yeah.
And who are you really trying to like clarify things for? Because the fashion people, I don't really think they're too interested in you guys at all to care that much and be like, she was late or whatever. Like, I don't know. It just all feels like bleh,
Yeah.
uninteresting.
Was this the same episode where they had the actual fashion show and Kim was late, or was it the next
No,
episode?
that was the next one, I think.
Okay, so we'll
Yeah.
talk about that later. Um, yeah. I mean, this is better than them driving stick shift.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We
Yeah.
saw a little dynamic. We saw Kylie being Kylie. It was a little better. It seemed like they were trying. But again, to your point, it's like we've been complaining that we don't see the Jenner sisters, and now we saw them. They're like, ta da, here you go. Stop complaining.
Right. Crumbs. That's
Huh?
all they get. Crumbs. That's all they get.
So, and I lost the article. So the last portion of it was the actual baby shower. So back in LA was Kourtney's Disney themed baby shower. The venue was decorated with Disney character wall hangings, Mickey Mouse caps for the guests, Mickey Mouse cookies, Mickey Mouse balloons, Mickey, Mickey, Mickey. right?
Right.
Ice cream trucks, you know how they do in their backyards. Just when the party was about to go down, Kourtney called Chris to tell her that her and Trav had tested positive for COVID. Chris invited them anyway. They came and watched everything from a safe distance. Chris on the Kardashians accidentally revealed the incoming baby's name to be Rocky, which was supposed to be a secret. What do we
Right.
think?
So I feel like this episode, it was Kourtney who kind of really like gave a relatable feel from the very beginning. Like I said, when she talked about the fetal surgery and her having to be on bed rest, to this whole situation with the baby shower and them having to like, she didn't have glam on, she didn't have like anything crazy. She was just there like enjoying her baby shower from afar, and primarily like because she knew how much it meant to her mom as well to be there. And so I really liked that, seeing that side of things. Of course it was over the top, and I don't understand why they need to like spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars on these parties, but still it's like a memory obviously that's going to be good for Kourtney to have forever, knowing that she was able to experience that despite how she was like feeling and everything she was going through.
But to be fair, their hundreds of thousands of dollars is probably equivalent to our hundreds or thousands of dollars. It's like relative, you know?
I guess so, but
It's still
like,
ostentatious, you
yeah,
know?
sure.
Not, you know, the Mickey caps with the personalized names. First of all, I wanted one.
I can't deal with you.
But they do throw some great parties, and it seemed very heartfelt. Now,
Yeah,
Chris spilling the beans, was this on purpose, or
no,
is
she's
this Chris being Chris?
reckless. Yeah, just crispy and crust.
Reckless.
Yeah, 13 deep and you still make a mistake like this. Come on. Come on.
Well, well, well. All right. Let's see. So I guess it is in this episode. Chris, Kim, and Corey were on a jet. Um, hold on, my page refreshed. Got on a private jet, which is probably Kim Air,
Hmm.
to go to Paris. And Kim explained that she had to go to New York for 6 hours, then Paris for 15 hours, then Atlantic City, then Milan, then the moon, then Jupiter, back to Paris.
Hmm.
So, you know, there goes Kim bragging. At the end of the episode, Kim and Chris were stuck in traffic when they were supposed to be at the show. So we're talking about the Victoria Beckham show.
Oh, right, right. Okay.
They made it there 20 minutes late, and they said that they hated being late. Kendall was closing the show, but surprisingly, Kim and Chris didn't recognize Kendall walking right in front of them.
Okay.
Well, what did we think about Kendall walking? I feel like Kim is always late to stuff, but I guess they never are. I don't know. What do we think?
Well, I really, again, feel like weird whenever they're showing Kendall doing a show. Um, but like the whole being late thing, I don't, this isn't your first rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't your first time in Paris. You know how this goes. And
Yeah.
I've always felt like it's better to be early than to be late. I get that shit happens, right? Of course, things can just go sideways. But like, I don't know. It just feels like all of this like made up stuff or whatever when you could have just left earlier and avoided any kind of drama. Because at the end of the day, like these are from my understanding, Victoria requested for Kim to be there. Like she invited her, she wanted her there because they apparently have a friendship. So just out of respect, why wouldn't you try to be there early? Like instead of, I guess, being so late or whatever. I don't know if the show didn't. I'm assuming the show still started on time. I can't recall exactly.
We're waiting for Kim,
They
remember?
were waiting for her.
Because
Yeah,
she's sitting in the front row. And so remember, there were articles saying that Anna Wintour was mad at Kim for being late and
right.
talking to each other, even though they were next to each other.
Right. Well, so I think we had covered that because we talked about how Anna Winter's schedule is so jam packed. Like she has to leave by certain times or whatever to like not miss other shows. So like again, it's a matter just of like respect. I think for someone to purposely be late, and it's purposeful if you're literally like, yeah, I'll be there. I just gotta do this real quick, and it's really nothing. Yeah, like it is a purposeful thing. So again, this is not her first rodeo. They've had to deal with Paris traffic during Fashion Week before. So this to me was just a whole bunch of like a big bowl of nothing, and it was her doing. So yeah.
I guess this was a running theme because Kylie was over there trying to defend herself that she wasn't late.
Mm-hmm.
Kim and Chris, um,
Always being late.
they hate being late. We've seen episodes where Kim is late to the Met Gala. It's like, well, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta rush, and they missed the truck, and it's chaos. So
Yeah.
we've seen them late.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
take us for fools.
Right. And again, to me, that's just a lack of respect. If you're going to like, if you're being invited to an event and you're not there like at the time that it's supposed to begin, I hate being late. Like I literally get flustered being late to things
She
because
does. I'm the late one.
because it's like I wouldn't want someone to do that to me, right? Like if I'm saying I'm doing this at this time, like please be there at this time, and you're not. I think that's just a matter of respect. So if I don't want my time to be wasted, then I'm not going to do that to somebody else. So that's why I feel like with them and that whole situation, like
Mhm.
it just doesn't add up. It just didn't add up to me. That's all.
Well, well, well. What an episode. Guys, let us know what you think in the comments about season 5, episode 1. Did you watch it? What do we think about, let me go in order, Kourtney's fetal surgery? Um, if there are any women out there who have experienced this, let us know in the comments. The recovery time. Could you relate to Kourtney's story? What do we think about Kim's work ethic? Are we just over it at this point? Girl, we know you work. Or is it still admirable? There was a point in time where I was like, oh, hey, I want to learn more things that she's doing, especially with her Sky partners kind of thing. It's like, oh, okay. But now it's getting a bit much. What do we think about, I guess, Kendall and Kylie trying to show us that, the Jenners do work? They do contribute to the show.
Do they?
What do we think about Kendall walking the runway? Do you agree with Dee that, she's just paid this high ass salary for no reason?
Hmm.
What do we think about Chloe bringing back Trish Trash? What else could she offer us? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
But that concludes today's episode. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, please share our video. We're trying to grow our community so your friends can be our friends so we can all be friends. We also have social media, which Zee will tell you about.
We are on TikTok and Instagram. Hear me out, DNE. So make sure you guys follow, like, share, comment. You can also listen to the videos in podcast format through YouTube Music and Spotify.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.